Hello, my name is Ian McGuire, and today we will be talking about satellites. You might be wondering, what are satellites? Well, by definition, satellites are bodies that orbit around a planet or celestial body like the moon. But the type of satellite I'm going to be talking about are man-made, that were put into orbit by humans. Ever since we started putting them up there, satellites have been gathering information on outer space and showing us things we would have never been able to see by ourselves, like the extent of the Earth's curvature, weather patterns, and accurate visuals of the ocean and land masses. As of recent, satellites have been helping us with more things such as sending internet, TV, and phone signals across the world. Also, telescope satellites can see much clearer and farther than traditional telescopes, greatly furthering astrology. These things have helped advance society significantly. Now let's take a look at the parts of a satellite. Although satellites are greatly varied between each other, they all have these things in common. A body which is sturdy but also light as it stays orbiting around the Earth. The power source, which is usually situated on the sides of the body. Many modern satellites use solar panels. And finally, the transmitter. This device is what sends signals back to Earth for research. Without this, a satellite would just be a floating hunk of metal. Satellites also have all sorts of gizmos to gather information, but they're different between different satellites. Well, you might be asking, how do satellites orbit around the Earth? Well, it's simple. When they're launched into outer space, scientists calculate the speed it needs to be going in order to be balanced with the Earth's gravitational force. Otherwise, a satellite will either fly off into space or crash back into the Earth. But if they want the satellite to be a certain distance away, scientists must also calculate for that. So getting a satellite to actually orbit is quite the ordeal. A question often asked is, can satellites crash into each other? And the answer is yes. That's just the nature of moving objects. But have satellites ever crashed into each other? Yes, they have, but only on one occasion. On February of 2009, US and Russian satellites hit each other in orbit. But stuff like this is rare because orbits usually take into account of other satellite orbits. First satellite that was ever put into space was the USSR Sputnik satellite in the year 1957, a whole 12 years before the first moon landing. But NASA's first satellite was the Explorer 1 a year later, 1958. NASA later sent many more satellites, each with more capability than the last. Today, NASA uses satellites in a number of ways, whether it be for collecting information about the Earth's atmosphere, looking into far-off galaxies, predicting the weather, or making more accurate maps. They help the US and other countries know what's going to happen or what has happened.
The satellite, in my opinion, is the USA-262. It's sleek, iconic, and it gets the job done. It assists with our GPS system, so that's a plus. Another cool one would be the Gravity Field and Steady State Ocean Circulation Explorer, otherwise known as GOSI. It looks sick and stylish and way different than the average satellite. The last satellite I'll be gushing over is the Sputnik. I know this choice may seem kind of dumb, but if you look at it, you gotta admit, it looks pretty cool. But it looks like a comet streaking through the sky, and it gets points by being the first one up there. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson about satellites. I'm Ivan De La Torre.
And I'm Ian McGuire.
Goodbye.